Yeah. I posted a picture, a screenshot when I was rewatching it, or at least I tried to rewatch it last night. And I got to a point where it was a simple four-man rush. I mean, I think Seattle had lined up the edge like really wide, but it was a simple four-man rush. And McGlinchey goes in and blocks the guy like right next to him, but doesn't see someone just coming right at Jimmy. And Jimmy's just looking at him like, okay, I guess I'll have to just deliver this football now and just get my face blown off.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like, man, how do you miss that as an offensive lineman? I don't know if it's on O-line or maybe it's Jimmy to point that out. Like, hey, McGlinchey, you got that guy on the edge, and then the guard in the center will handle this guy right here.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but something has to happen. Something needs to be adjusted because it's not even like Jimmy. Let's get into Jimmy Garoppolo because I really don't think this game was on him. I honestly feel like the game was more on the offensive line, and it just didn't give Jimmy enough time to see the open receiver. Like, those were my initial thoughts. And he did have a bad interception, and, he hasn't played well all year. Let's just be honest. But I feel like the issues don't start with him, it starts somewhere else.
Yeah, agreed. When I rewatched it, I think I tweeted out. To me, I love boxing. It, for me, always goes back to boxing. I'm like Bill Walsh. I take everything back to boxing because I think it's the simple, the simplest kind of form. And to me, like Jimmy looked after those first couple drives, he looked like a shot fighter. He looked like he was afraid to get hit. And like you said, that's not on Jimmy. That's on the O line. That's on coaching. Part of that's, Jimmy has a responsibility in there as well. But my God, like there were some throws where he was basically turning to avoid hits that weren't there as he's throwing. Like he's kind of doing this number. He's turning sideways and kind of and letting go of the ball. And you're like he looked like a shot fighter who like is afraid of who's been knocked out and is afraid of getting knocked out again. And you see
Yeah.
with shot fires, like we talk about Jimmy going deep, he's had people open, but he's afraid to me, it looks like he's afraid to take the shot because he's afraid of standing in the pocket and getting blown up. And it's like a boxer. They see an open shot, you see him, they can see it. Like I can hit this guy, but they're afraid of getting countered, they're afraid of getting knocked out. And so they don't throw the punch.
Right.
Right? It's all
Mm-hmm.
about protect. They want to protect themselves. That's what Jimmy looks like to me. He's afraid of getting blown up. And like you said, that's not on him. Some of it's on him. Some of the decision making's on him. Like, let's be
Yeah.
real. Some of his decision making has not been there. And that's a separate issue. But the line has put him in danger, and he looks like he's so afraid of taking shots. And you saw it, like he got hit 2 or 3 times after that. He didn't want none of that. And I don't blame him, honestly. Like I mean, I'm sorry, but you have Bobby Wagner, coming at you at, 20 miles an hour. Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I'm sorry.
Well,
Like I don't blame anybody.
yeah, I just feel like Jimmy never got a fair shot in this game. Like, its offensive line didn't help him at all. And again, Jimmy's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't played well all year. But to look at this game, and then you factor in the injury too, and to look at this game and say, Jimmy just needs to be ran out of town, I'd say pump the brakes a little bit because we saw what he can do with a good offensive line, or at least a fairly decent one, because Niners suffered really, injuries last year as well, but they were able to kind of ride the wave a little bit. But I look at this game here and I'm saying, like, man, if this offensive line can somewhat just put it together, then it wouldn't look that bad. Like, yeah, this game was bad in terms of how it looked, but when you factor in, like, Bobby Wagner just coming getting a free shot at him, you have an edge rusher just coming and getting a free shot at him. Like, tell me what, outside of a mobile quarterback, maybe which quarterback is going to perform well under those circumstances?
Yeah, totally agree. And you saw it like when Nick came in, they still blitzed, but because they picked up the blitzes, the line blocked, and I think McKinnon was in there a couple times to kind of help out. You saw Nick was able to hit plays down. Juice talked about after the game was that they were able, he's like, when you get blitzed, there are open guys, and there's usually big plays available if everybody does their job. You saw Nick, what do you have, 200 and something in like a quarter? Like, because he was hitting these big plays because, when you blitz, somebody's open. So you see the scheme was there. The plays were there to be had, but it takes all 11 guys. That's why football is such a great sport. It's the ultimate team sport, right? Like, you need all 11 guys. If one of your 11 doesn't do their job, it doesn't matter. Like, if McGlinchey blows a block, like you said, it doesn't matter if all the other guys block and everybody runs a route perfectly and Jimmy's teed up for the pass. He's going to go deep. He's going to throw an 80-yard bomb. It doesn't matter if McGlinchey doesn't block his guy and that guy blows up Jimmy, right? Like, that's one guy. Everybody else does their job perfectly. One guy doesn't, and it's over, right? And for me, with Jimmy gets some blame. I keep going back and forth since the game.
I just wanted to add is that Jimmy does deserve some criticism in terms of how he takes hits. Like, he's not, let's be honest, he's not durable. No. I feel like the biggest criticism he has right now is that he's always hurt. Like 2018, now this year, he's missed half the games. So is like, that should be the criticism. You can't be reliable because you can't stay healthy. And why can't he stay healthy? It's because he's taking those big shots and he loves to be like a Tony Romo, right? Or like a Brett Favre, just slinging it, right? When he sees pressure coming into his face, sometimes you just have to give up and then go down, like protect yourself and live, to fight another down. But, it's that mentality. And I know they say it all the time, is that linebacker mentality, played linebacker back in high school or whatnot. But at the end of the day, if Shanahan believes you're the best quarterback in this roster and they're, going to ride with you moving forward, then you have to be smarter than that.
Yeah. And that's, I think, where I've finally kind of landed at with Jimmy. We talk about Jimmy on this team. I've gone away from the performance. To me, it's not about the performance anymore. It's about like you said, the injuries, right? Like, he has been injured. Like, I actually looked it up today. So he's had 53 possible starts since he joined the Niners. He has only made 32 of those 53. So he's basically only played 60% of the time.
Wow.
Of the 53 possible games he could have played, he's only finished 26 of those games, which is 49%. So the 53 starts he could have played, he's only finished 26 games. Like, that's it. That's 26 games that he's finished. Like, we're going to go into next season. Let's say he's on the roster next season. That'll be year, 4? Or is that year 5 now?
From the contract?
Yeah. Is that 4?
That'd be year 4.
Year 4.
2018, 2019, 2020. Yeah.
And we cannot say he's had 2 full seasons yet. Like, think about that. Like, his first season, he had 5 games he started and finished. Right now, that is the second most in the season he's had. 5.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
5. His first year, he started those last 5 games, started and finished. 2018, he started 3 and only finished 2. Last year, he started and finished all of them. And this year, he started 6 and finished 3.
Yeah.
Like, that is the big, that's where I've kind of shifted from, I don't care about his performance. I look at from, can he stay on the field? Because, and I think Shanahan, after the game, he said this kind of, I think there was a read between the line moment when someone asked him, how bad is Jimmy's ankle? And he's like, I don't know. You have to ask him. And there was a hint of just, I think, frustration from Shanahan that, dude, I keep putting you out there and you aren't finishing games. That's the 3rd game you have not finished. And you see what happened. Like, you can't keep throwing your backup in there in the 4th quarter or halftime, or, you know what I'm saying? There's that touch of frustration at this point that, if we put Jimmy out there, like, can he finish the game? At this point, I'd rather honestly you ride with Mullins. Like, at least in theory, he's going to start and finish a game. And you kind of know that, right? Like, you don't have to worry about high ankle sprains, knock on wood. You know, like, he's going to start and finish. And I think Shanahan at this point would rather roll with Mullins and his limitations, knowing that, hey, he's going to start and finish this game. I don't have to worry about making adjustments in the third quarter because my quarterback's hurt now.
Yeah, and then Shanahan says we thought that he would be able to protect himself in practice, so that's why we rolled with him. Yeah, there's some subliminal messages here being sent.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I get people want, draft a quarterback, we're going to need to get our franchise quarterback. But people are looking at it the wrong way. I think that, yes, the 49ers should draft a quarterback this upcoming draft, but not because Jimmy isn't capable of at least managing the offense, right? I feel like just because Jimmy can't stay durable and you can't really rely on him. Last year seems like it was kind of a perfect storm for the Niners. Jimmy was healthy, the pieces kind of aligned for them. And now this year it's kind of 2018 all over again.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing like a trend here.
Yeah. I mean, with Jimmy, I move away from performing. When he's healthy and the offense is there, like, you see what he can do. It works. It's just you have to be there. Like, when Shanahan said that, like, you have to ask Jimmy. Like, I played that for my wife. I'm like, you get that? And she's like, no, that just sounds like he's saying you have to ask Jimmy. I said, you got to think about like this. I said, imagine you're in the hospital. You're my wife. You're in the hospital, and your best friend asked me, hey, how's Emily doing? What I say, how's Emily doing? I said, I don't know. You have to ask her. Your friend's going to be like, what do you mean I have to ask her? How do you not know how your wife is doing? Right? Like, and that's what this is, right? When you head coach and quarterback, that is basically your wife. You're married to him like that. You should know, like, Kyle Shanahan, you should know, like, how your quarterback's feeling every second of the day. You know what I'm saying? $27 million. Like,
I think I think Shanahan just said, you know what, screw that. Like, I've been saying he's been good all freaking month. Why don't you just finally ask him? He'll tell you the real answer.
Yeah, and he even pointed out in that when he said that little, he said, like, hey, he had a great week. He, like, almost made it a point to say, like, look, he was fine all week. He had a great week. He, like, made it a point of saying he had a great week of practice. And then, like, there was just a frustration in there. Like, you could just tell, like, he was just like, I'm tired of dealing with this. Like, you could just tell, like, it was just between the lines. It was just right under that initial layer. He didn't say it in any particular way. It was just what he said. And I was like, there's frustration there.